Howdy. And Cloudy, go back to the channel. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you ain't leave a like on the video, leave a like on the video, you know what I'm saying? Share with your homies and all that too. Today, we got a video of everything always. Avengers Doomsday official details are insane. I love to hear more news about Avengers Doomsday. I hope
everything
it's not postponed no
Michael
more.
Roman, aka Allfires, and we just got some major, crazy, insane updates from Joe and Anthony Russo, the directors on the upcoming Avengers Doomsday and Avengers
the Russo brothers are working on this.
Show up in the movie. Not only did they answer that in the most exciting and open-ended way, but what they're promising for the story seems to up the ante every time they talk about it. And this most recent one really seems.
All right, bro. Hey, look. If they making promises, bro, y'all better keep y'all promises. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of fans out here that's really kind of pissed off that y'all postponing it. So a lot of them understand, especially even the ones that are pissed off. They understand, but it doesn't change the fact that they pissed off.
As they said, very challenging for the audience. We're going to break down this latest article in Deadline and what they exactly said to expect from the two upcoming Avengers films. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. If you're into that kind of thing, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. Stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so these were official updates coming from the Russos in their most recent interview with Deadline. The article that broke late last night went on to say this, quote, "At the world premiere of Netflix The Electric State held in Los Angeles, the Egyptian theater Hollywood, filmmaking sibling duo Joe and Anthony Russo previewed to Deadline the forthcoming Marvel movies Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, due in 2026 and 2027 respectively. Quote, "It's all in London. We're shooting them fairly back to back. It's a lot of work again, and we may or may not survive. We'll see," Joe Russo told Deadline social media manager Natalie Stake on the red carpet. "But we're very excited about it. We found a way into the story that we think is going to be challenging for audiences. It's challenging for us to execute. It's really exciting for us, and it gets us out of bed to do it. We'll impress specifically on whether..."
Hey, I love to hear when a person that's doing their job talk like this. You know what I'm saying? When they this, you know what I'm saying? When they this amped up to do it, they talk about, man, it helps them. It makes them want to wake up. Bro, this is good news for all of us, bro. We know they finna go off, bro. Bro. I'm telling you, if y'all ain't seen my last video, bro, they probably saw the other scripts and they weren't fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? But they also saw it was like, bro, I already have an idea what type of story, how we going, you know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know, James Gunn has, apparently said he's trying to put a lot of stuff out for DC, like every year. Like he basically gave us a year schedule. You know what I'm saying? He said something like 2 TV shows or 2 TV series, 2 movies, 2 animated, bro. James Gunn is doing something. Marvel got to step it up, bro.
It's a long-awaited tie-in of characters within the X-Men universe or Deadpool. Joe Russo hedged. Who knows?
I love DC too. I just haven't.
I don't know who we're gonna see. Still don't know. For his part, Anthony Russo had phoned the answer. Quote, "If you close your eyes, use your imagination, you can see anyone you want," he added. "Whoever tickles your fancy." And they followed up by saying anybody in the Marvel bag could show up in this movie. Quote attributed to Joe Russo. What really happened was we ended up stumbling upon
anybody can show up. Let's go.
You couldn't see it coming until it came.
At Ralph,
once it was like, well, we have to make this story. This is a story we have to tell. Now, look,
as I tell you on my last video,
the Russos have insisted.
The one thing I like about Marvel is how they are able to put in all these other characters and other characters' movies or TV shows and still show their story too, like a little bit of it. Like, I like how they do that, bro, and the fact they're able to do that gives them so much more wiggle room for the story.
We've talked about this story with increasing vigor, that this was a story they, quote, had to tell, that it was one of those stories that was unique enough to even have them coming back in the first place. And this time they really upped the ante by saying not only was it a challenge for them to make, but that it's going to, quote unquote, challenge audiences. They then went on to say things like they really think that these films are going to be a surprise to people and that they think they're very radical. Now, starting with the quote unquote challenge part, I think it's pretty obvious that the enormous challenge right off the bat was them choosing Robert Downey Jr. in a different role for the MCU, with the stakes and sort of problematic creation that is, hey, this is one of our most iconic actors and characters. Now he's back as someone else. There's already a level of degree of challenge, but even more so, I'm going to say the quiet part out loud here. This just can't be Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame 2.0. That's the reason they don't come back, is because they can't up these movies. And they don't.
Okay, now the way bro explained it to me now, you know what I'm saying? Explaining it to us. It makes sense now why they brought him back as a different character, bro. It makes sense. I mean, I feel like they still could have had a dope story with him still being Iron Man. But I understand they like, we don't want to what's the word? Because I don't think anybody would get like fatigued off Iron Man, like get tired of seeing him. But it will be hard to like implement him into a story in different ways that won't feel similar to all the other times he's been on. You know what I mean? I really feel like they could have did something with his daughter. Maybe that's what they planning on doing, is bringing his daughter back as the Iron Man, if that is a thing in the comics. And even if it ain't, if they can make it a thing on screen, bro, then they probably would. Because I feel like his daughter not just gonna be there and have nothing. Like, bro, her dad just, bro, I'm crashing out.
Retell them, and I know
I'm
I
thinking the daughter gonna put on the
about
suit.
a portal scene, quote unquote,
and I
for
don't know
Avengers
if Pepper
Secret Wars, where everybody lines up. But outside of some obvious similarities that are just inherent in superhero movies, they really want to make a story that matters, something that's different. And that's where I think they get around to the language of saying, hey, these movies are going to surprise you guys. They're really radical. That's because they can't just come back and make another Infinity War and make another Avengers Endgame.
Now I'm a little more excited because the way they explain
if they felt like that's what they were going to do, I don't think they would have agreed to come back. That's why I think they keep emphasizing how good the story is. It's the reason they say, quote unquote, to activate everyone, something that's worth being told, something that's not just, again, Infinity War and Endgame Part 2. And for the other side of this quote about any character showing up, you can rest assured that the Russos weren't lying. Marvel Studios didn't assemble the rights at a very expensive price tag at that, not to be able to have as many characters as they need for moments like Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars.
Bro, why don't...
Kevin Feige already acknowledged this, that there won't be 100,000 characters in either of these movies. It can't be like that. And the way that they make these movies mean something is that they focus on the characters that are most...
obviously not a lot of people could, a lot of people can still make cameos, but obviously it can't be, too many, because the movie or TV, it got to be hella long for them to do that. What I think the Russo brothers honestly want to do with a lot of their projects is put a lot of characters into these stories to make cameos, because it will make it easier for them to glue a story together. You know what I'm saying? And they won't have to always, solo story a movie. You know what I mean? If they already making cameos in another movie and some of their story link, they ain't gonna have to make another solo movie for him. They can just make a little something for him in a TV show, and somebody, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, bro. But they do want to see everybody line up
again at the end of Avengers Secret Wars.
And that's one way to do it.
If you look back at Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, very few characters carried a bulk
I don't know.
of the dialogue.
I'm just the outside
and of course,
guy.
If Marvel had spent any time at all building towards Doctor Doom already, well, they'd have more wiggle room in Avengers Doomsday to
exactly. They weren't building towards it.
Even if he's introduced as a very small part of the upcoming Fantastic Four, we will be jumping immediately into Doctor Doom with their film.
That's why I think
just
they should
his
finish
story
Kane,
alone
bro.
could take up the full 2+ hours that movie is going to be. So while you can let your imagination run a little bit wild, like the Russos said, you also have to keep in mind that in order for these movies to mean anything, it's not just going to be character after character jumping in from left screen for a new battle. And as much as I want to see some of the really top-end cosmic entities, the Living Tribunal, finally get some actual screen time, the real truth is that a majority of the dialogue is going to be carried by Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom and, say, the top 4 or 5 Avengers and or ancillary superheroes, and then extended from that, maybe the top 10 or 15 get most of the lines. Go back and watch Infinity War and see how much Sam Wilson actually gets in the way of dialogue. Yeah, they get some lines, but very minimal. It's the top that end up getting a majority of the dialogue. And for the script, and again in this film, with as much as they're hoping to accomplish, they're going to have to spend a majority of that dialogue on the main story. Now, the one thing I will say when it comes to any Marvel character...
That's what I'm saying, bro. Avengers Doomsday is really... I'm really thinking it's going to be Doctor Doom's origin story, bro. Because it don't make sense. It don't make sense for him to just get jumped in like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this ain't a game. Like, he has to have some type of origin story we got to see. Either we see that on the Fantastic Four movie, which will honestly be cool. It was just, they would have to show him jumping into another timeline, I would think, from that movie. If they want to bring his story in through Fantastic Four, they would have to show him jumping into a timeline to where he end up fucking with these niggas. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they can start Avengers Doomsday off how he, they can start it off how Fantastic Four ended, and they can make the ending of Fantastic Four the beginning of Avengers Doomsday. If y'all get what I'm saying, I ain't going too much deep. That's That's a lot of yapping. But if y'all get my drift, though, they gotta give him an origin story, bro.
Could be in this film. I would focus on characters that we've already seen, even if it's just a quick post-credit scene cameo. If you've seen them already in the MCU, they have a lot better choice and chance of showing up than if you haven't seen them already at all. And you know, at this point, a lot of characters have been introduced, but if it's a brand new character and for no reason, I already saw people speculating that the news about Robert Pattinson joining the MCU could mean he's going to play Molecule Man, which was a rumor that sprung out of nowhere last year, and it seems to have resurfaced with this news he met with Marvel.
See, I just think that look, some videos, you know what I'm saying, I do be missing. They be coming out fast, you know what I'm saying. I'll be editing. When they come out, bro, I'll be editing the videos that I just, you know what I mean? So some of y'all got to keep me a little updated, you know what I'm saying, if y'all can, you know what I'm saying. Let me know what's going on if I don't know, you know what I mean. I don't mind the criticism either. If I got something wrong, let me know, you feel me? But I didn't know Robert Pattinson was going to come back. Well, they were thinking as bringing him back as Molecule Man. I'm thinking he going to be the Batman, but I did see somewhere, you know what I'm saying? I want to say a Screen Rant, but then I don't want to say it, and they didn't say it because I'll be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But I seen somewhere that Robert Pattinson is not going to play Batman no more for James Gunn's DCU, or at least his new DC or some shit like that. He's not playing the Batman, so that does leave him free. You know what I'm saying, for Marvel to use, especially because they got a lot of characters. You know what I mean?
At this point, whatever Molecule Man a good story is can be assigned to other characters. The way that I do believe they're going to be replacing the Beyonder's power, quote unquote, with Loki, God of Stories power. That way, it's just you don't have to explain these characters. And as much as I want to say see the Beyonder in the MCU, it might not be necessary for the story they're telling. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. How do you feel about the dialogue they've been using recently, especially this most recent interview where they think it's going to be a radical film
and all that.
That's going to challenge us?
Bro,
what could even at this point really challenge us, knowing about the infinite possibilities of the multiverse, including one that looks like Robert Downey Jr. I am all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go.
Hey man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm excited, bro. It's something like when you see a basketball, say your favorite basketball player or something like that, get traded to a new team. You know what I'm saying? And he's talk about, I'm ready to work. You know what I'm saying? We finna win the championship and all. You get a little excited, right? Because he's like, oh yeah, he finna go off. You know what I'm saying? He locked in. You know what I'm saying? That's where the Russo brothers is at least from my perspective. That's where the Russo brothers is at. They locked in.